I want to talk about this story. It's a little sad because a Filipina robbed a guy, not at gunpoint, but she pretty much robbed him. What happened was she took 4,000 from his house, rich foreigner guy. Yeah, it happens. Happened out in Makati not too long ago. She's a 32-year-old Filipina maid, had always been known in her hometown, hardworking and honest woman. Like many Filipinas, of course, this happens to a lot of people. She sought opportunities abroad. My wife even did it. Overseas field worker for many years. And she did it for a better life for her family, just like every other Filipino. But working as a domestic helper, she aimed to save money and save enough money to support her children's education and also ensure a stable future for her family. Make sure her mom had enough money, made sure her sisters went through school. After several years of working in the Middle East, Maria decided to return to the Philippines and take a job in Manila. Now, she was employed by a wealthy guy, I don't want to say his name, and he lived alone in a posh condominium, Makati, and he was kind, but he was also known as a generous person, often gave her extra money. So there was no need for her to take the money because he always gave her extra. But he trusted her completely, would often leave her in charge of his home when he traveled abroad for business. So Maria's relationship with him was more than just as an employer and employee. They developed a certain level of trust, camaraderie, and he's in his mid 50s, so he treated her with respect, allowed her to manage finances, allowed her to plan for the future as well, because he was aware of her struggles. He was aware of it, and he was aware of what many Filipino maids faced and wanted to help her achieve her goals. Because when you're a Filipino maid, let me tell you, in the Philippines, a Filipino maid gets like around 5,000, 10,000, and that's around what she was getting when she was out in Saudi Arabia. So he was aware of that. So he made sure he cushioned her with payments. Meaning, if she was getting 5 to 10,000 a month in Saudi Arabia, she was probably getting with him like around 20, 30,000, 40,000. It's not the best, but that's decent pay. And he wanted to help her, achieve her goals and things like that. This is where things took a turn for the worse. One evening, Maria was cleaning the living room. She stumbled upon a brown envelope, but you shouldn't be curious, it's not your home. But still, she's taking care of everything. She picked it up, opened it up to find bundles of cash. It amounted to around 200,000. That's $4,000. So you pick up that kind of money, right? And you hungry and you eating and you starving. Her heart start pumping. Do do, do do, do do. Could you imagine? Like, think about if you're a guy and you're a guy at the streets, or you're not at the streets, and you see like $4,000 just sitting there, and you need that money. She realized, and then her thoughts began to flood her mind, and then she started thinking the amount she could pay off. Like, I can pay this, I can pay that, I can pay my family's debt, I can pay off a small plot of land, all these things. So not only positive things, but the negative things as well. She always been a person of integrity, but the sight, just looking at a large sum of money, clouded her judgment. Now, she knew that he often carried large amounts of cash. That's how he rolled. But this is one of the parts of the house where she doesn't usually go. Still, what are you doing in that part of the house? That's how he's thinking, right? When it all came down to it. So he was careless sometimes, assuming that no one would dare steal from him. Just like you would be, right? If you're in a house with a bunch of people you can trust, you're going to be that way as well. So after all, he had been generous, everyone around him, including Maria. Now, despite her initial hesitation, Maria decided to take the money. So she convinced herself that he won't miss it at all. This guy's rich. He has cake. He's caked up, right? He's rich. He has money. He has money to spend. He has money to blow, which he does. But he still doesn't want to get his money taken. So she rationalized her actions by thinking about her family's needs. And also she thought about all the hardships they endured and took it. Now, for a few days, she lived in fear, constantly, because he didn't know for a while. She stashed the money in the room, unsure what to do next. And as the days passed, he didn't mention the cash. He has money. He's not thinking, oh, where's 4,000? That man has millions. So she sent part of the money to the family and devoured, right? And kept the rest for future use. However, her relief was short-lived because very soon he noticed the money missing. Where's my money at? Of course he's gonna notice because he's a very meticulous person. He's retracing his steps, going back every place he went, saying, where could I have dropped the money? He discreetly investigated everything. He didn't want to make a big fuss out of it, right? So he discreetly investigated everything, checked with the staff, because he has tons of staff, people that clean, people that cook. He's checking with everybody. Then he starts looking on the CCTV footage from his condominium. His suspicions very soon confirmed. I'm happy that he had the footage in his condominium because he got right down to it right away. He saw it. He saw it on the footage. So his suspicions were confirmed when he saw her acting nervously around the time the money disappeared. He's looking like, why are you acting so nervous? He confronted her. He was hurt, angry, of course. And it's not just because of the theft, but because he trusted her. Like, imagine that. Like, that's somebody that you would have dropped 10,000 in front of. Because you thinking, I trust this person. I love this person. I care for this person. I would give this person anything. That's like if me and myself, right? I said to my wife, hey, babe, this lady's going through this. She's going through that. My wife probably would be like, yeah, help her out, babe. Me, myself, I would be like, help her out. And he was the same way. So this is not a bad man. He was the same way. She got robbed. It's funny because I took it personally when I read this story. My wife would have took it personally because my wife would have gave her the money too. And she would have made sure I gave her the money. You guys, same thing. You rich, any Filipino in need, her situation. Oh, I got this, that to pay. Maybe help out, right? Maybe, of course, because you don't want to because what happens when you just give people things, they don't take it in a nice gesture. But he was furious, but he was compassionate. So he listened to her story. He understood the difficult circumstances, of course. He just couldn't believe that she came to that decision. He also knew that her actions couldn't go unpunished, so he decided to report the incident to the cops. The cops came, big spectacle. She was arrested, charged. Then her family found out. They was devastated. They couldn't believe that she would do something like that. She argued that she acted out of desperation and no intention of harming him at all, right? And then she pleaded for leniency, citing her clean record. But it doesn't matter, right? She took the money. But still, she did have a clean record. She wasn't a dirty person. Him being a kind man, he was so kind that what he did, that man, so he gave her a second chance, got rid of most of the charges. He chalked it off as, so she got caught. She had some of the money. Remember, she gave some of the money to her family, but she kept some of the money. So she gave him the rest of that money. So that's what helped. That's why she didn't do much time, because she gave up some of the money. And plus, he's not caring because he has in his heart. He loves this lady, but he didn't want to press full charges. She did a couple of months. He let her go. And I would have probably let her go too. Would you have let her go, babe? If somebody's working for us and they took $4,000, but they gave us back, like let's say like around $3,000, would you be okay and let it go? And say they got like a couple of months of jail. Would you be all right with it? Would you be okay with that? No, they took the money because they needed it, but they still took the money. Would you be okay with that? If you only got 1,000 back, huh? No, all of it.
Yeah, wait.
See what I'm saying, y'all? I'm always said no. Just like me, I feel the same way, babe. So it's good to know. Just a laugh. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for listening to the story. Be sure to check me out. I'm gonna talk about these stories. I have a ton of them. Now this one right here, it's sad because it tells even domestic workers, like when they're overseas in Saudi Arabia, they go through hell. Filipino overseas workers in Saudi Arabia go through hell. And this lady went through some of those similar stories. So that's why he felt so bad for her. Thank y'all for listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next video. Peace.